Aries, something from the past may be asking for your attention this week, but not because you are meant to go backward. You are being asked to notice what still carries life, what still carries truth, and what you may have abandoned simply because you were trying to become stronger. The question is not whether you can return. The question is whether you can return with better boundaries, clearer judgment, and a deeper understanding of who you are now. Your card for August 5th through August 11th is the Six of Cups. This is a card of memory, tenderness, familiarity, and emotional recognition. It can point toward people, places, dreams, or versions of yourself that feel strangely close, even after time has passed. But this reading is not asking you to romanticize everything that came before. It is asking you to separate genuine nourishment from nostalgia. Some memories remind you what love feels like. Others only remind you what you were once willing to tolerate. That distinction becomes especially important under this week's cosmic weather. On August 6th, Venus enters Libra and moves through your 7th house of partnership, agreements, and one-to-one relationships. Venus is comfortable in Libra, and for you, this can bring greater awareness to balance, reciprocity, and the quality of your connections. You may notice where a relationship feels graceful and mutual, but you may also become more sensitive to where you have been carrying too much of the emotional weight. The Six of Cups can make an old bond, an old pattern, or an old expectation feel more vivid. Venus in your 7th house asks you to look at it through the lens of fairness. Is this connection alive in the present, or are you loyal to a memory of what it used to be? On August 9th, Mercury enters Leo and activates your 5th house of creativity, pleasure, romance, self-expression, and joy. This shift supports a more confident voice. It can help you say what you feel without over-explaining it, and it can reconnect you with the parts of life that make you feel vivid rather than merely productive. The Six of Cups fits beautifully here because it often carries the energy of play, imagination, and unguarded expression. Something you loved before life became so serious may deserve another chance. A creative idea, a hobby, a style, a dream, or even a way of speaking may return, not as a repetition of the past, but as raw material for the person you have become. Then, on August 11th, Mars enters Cancer and moves into your 4th house of home, family, roots, and private emotional life. Mars is your ruling planet, so its change of sign matters. In Cancer, action becomes more protective, more emotionally driven, and more connected to what happens behind closed doors. You may feel a stronger need to defend your peace, address a family issue, reorganize your home, or confront a pattern that began long ago. The Six of Cups can reveal how deeply your present reactions are connected to old emotional conditioning. You do not have to blame your past in order to stop letting it direct your future. The deeper meaning of the Six of Cups for you is this: softness is not the same as weakness. You may have learned to move quickly, decide quickly, and protect yourself quickly. Those instincts have helped you survive difficult seasons. But sometimes strength becomes so automatic that you stop recognizing what is safe. You may reject tenderness because it feels unfamiliar, or cling to familiarity because it feels safe. This week asks you to slow down long enough to tell the difference. In love, this reading brings the past and present into conversation. For some Aries, an old relationship, old feeling, or old relational pattern may come back into focus. That does not automatically mean reconciliation, and it does not automatically mean closure. It means there is something to understand. Venus entering your 7th house encourages mature evaluation. Ask whether the connection offers reciprocity now. Ask whether both people have changed in ways that can be seen, not merely promised. If you are in a relationship, you may benefit from returning to something simple that once made you feel close, an honest conversation, a shared ritual, a familiar place, or an act of affection that has been neglected. The purpose is not to recreate the beginning. It is to recover the sincerity that may have been buried under routine. If you are single, the 6 of Cups can reflect attraction to what feels emotionally familiar. Be careful not to mistake recognition for compatibility. Sometimes a person feels instantly known because they fit an old pattern. Venus in Libra asks for balance, respect, and mutual effort. Let the present behavior matter more than the emotional echo. In work, you may find value in revisiting an earlier skill, unfinished idea, former contact, or abandoned direction. The 6 of Cups does not necessarily tell you to return to an old job or repeat an old plan. It suggests that something useful may have been left behind when your priorities changed. Mercury entering your 5th house favors creativity and confident expression. A past project may become relevant again if you approach it with today's knowledge. You may also notice that work has become too dominated by urgency. Aries can become highly effective under pressure, but constant pressure can disconnect you from purpose. This week, productivity improves when you remember what originally made the work meaningful. In money, nostalgia can influence spending. You may feel drawn to comfort purchases, gifts, familiar brands, or experiences that connect you to a happier time. There is nothing wrong with creating comfort, but notice whether you are buying something useful or trying to purchase an emotion. The 6 of Cups can also highlight generosity. You may want to help a relative, support someone you care about, or give more than expected. Venus in your partnership house reminds you that generosity should not become an unspoken contract. Give because it is aligned, not because you hope it will secure loyalty or repair an imbalance that requires an honest conversation. In health and energy, your body may respond well to familiarity and gentleness. This is not a week to treat yourself like a machine. Consider the routines that once helped you feel grounded: regular meals, better sleep, walking, stretching, music, time outside, or a calmer start to the day. Mars entering your 4th house can make private tension more noticeable. Emotional stress at home may show up as restlessness, irritability, or difficulty fully relaxing. Protect your energy by addressing the environment around you. A small change in your space may help your nervous system understand that you are allowed to feel safe there. Wednesday begins with observation. Notice what memories, names, songs, places, or emotions arise without forcing an interpretation. The 6 of Cups often speaks through recognition. Write down what appears, but do not immediately decide that it is a sign to act. Let memory become information first. Thursday, Venus enters Libra and brings partnership into sharper focus. This is a strong day for noticing the balance within an important connection. You may choose to express appreciation, clarify an agreement, or recognize where harmony has been maintained at your expense. Lead with honesty rather than accusation. The goal is not to win. The goal is to see whether the relationship can hold truth and tenderness at the same time. Friday asks you to examine the difference between comfort and avoidance. Something familiar may feel easier than something new, but easier is not always healthier. Before returning to an old habit, person, or emotional response, ask what result it created before. You are allowed to choose familiarity when it truly supports you. You are also allowed to outgrow it. Saturday supports restoration. Give yourself access to something uncomplicated and life-giving. This could be creative play, time with someone trustworthy, a favorite meal, a place that helps you breathe, or an activity you once loved. Do not turn the experience into another task to optimize. Let enjoyment be useful because it restores your capacity to feel. Sunday, Mercury enters Leo and encourages confident self-expression. Say what has been waiting behind hesitation. Share the idea, write the message, return to the creative work, or admit what you genuinely want. Your fifth house is not only about performance, it is about the courage to let yourself be seen. Speak from the person you are now, not from the version of you who once believed visibility was dangerous. Monday is a day for integration. You may understand more clearly why a certain memory or connection returned to your attention. Resist the urge to force a dramatic conclusion. Sometimes healing is simply being able to remember without surrendering your present judgment. Let your adult self respond to what your younger self could not fully understand. Tuesday, Mars enters Cancer and activates your fourth house. Your attention may turn toward home, family, privacy, or emotional security. Take one concrete action that protects your inner foundation. Clean or reorganize a space, establish a boundary, address a practical family matter, or create a quieter environment. The action does not need to be dramatic. It needs to tell your nervous system that your present life is not powerless. Here are your 3 journal prompts. What part of my past still contains something genuinely nourishing, and what part only feels familiar? Where am I being asked to bring adult boundaries to an old emotional pattern? What form of joy or creativity did I abandon that deserves to be rebuilt in a way that fits my life now? Your weekly guidance is to create a 3-part memory inventory. Take one sheet of paper and divide it into 3 columns. Title the first column Honor, the second Release, and the third Recreate. Under Honor, write the people, lessons, traditions, and experiences from your past that still strengthen you. Under Release, write the patterns, promises, roles, and expectations that no longer belong in your present. Under Recreate, choose one source of joy, creativity, or connection that you want to bring back in a healthier form. Then take one practical step toward that final column before the week ends. This exercise matters because the 6 of Cups is not asking you to live inside memory. It is asking you to become a conscious editor of what you carry forward. You are not required to reject your history in order to grow. You are required to stop giving every part of that history equal authority. Aries, your central lesson this week is to return without retreating. You can revisit a feeling without becoming who you were when you first felt it. You can reconnect without abandoning your boundaries. You can forgive without reopening every door. You can recover joy without pretending the painful parts never happened. Your affirmation for this week is, I honor what shaped me, release what limits me, and choose what deserves a place in my future. Carry that with you through August 11th. Subscribe so your next weekly reading is waiting for you. Trust the timing. The stars have spoken.